Goofballs, a podcast about the NFL. Every week we get together, we talk about football, and we goof around about everything else. This week's no exception. Johnny Schwartzbein, who wins the AFC South, the Titans, the Colts, or someone else?
I'm still holding on to the Colts, but the Titans looked mighty impressive tonight if you're listening to this at midnight on a Tuesday.
Yeah, if you're the first person to listen to this, it would be tonight, so long as you're on the West Coast, we hope. I hope everybody listening to this is on the West Coast. Johnny, where is a country that one of our listeners is from? You look sometimes at the stats.
Canada, United Kingdom, Australia.
We got the white ones. But we're here in America and coast to coast, as a matter of fact. Let me go over to the Attorney General, AG. Andrew, the Jets have released LeVeon Bell. Who will rush for more yards next season, LeVeon Bell or Saquon Barkley?
Saquon Barkley. No, I mean probably not, because Le'Veon Bell, he's going to go to another team, right?
Where's he going, Andrew?
Who knows?
Hot take right now. Quick.
I don't know where he's going. Where's he going?
Pick a team.
I don't know. The Titans.
That's a bad guess. I'm going to say Bears.
I'll say Dolphins.
Okay. Dolphins?
Dolphins or Cardinals.
I was thinking about the Cardinals for some reason. Why was I thinking about the Cardinals? Because they are
You're
good?
Catholic.
They should be good. They should be good.
And that's our guest this week, Ryan Meharry. Ryan, you're a Ryan. Who would you find more entertaining to watch for a few hours, Ryan Tannehill or a Ryan Murphy television show?
I'm a big football fan. So I'll go Ryan Tannehill.
Not an American Horror Story
tonight, because he played great tonight.
Do you think that Ryan Tannehill, at this stage in his career, after proving himself basically for a full calendar year at this point, where would you put Ryan Tannehill comfortably among those? Is he better than Matthew Stafford?
Right now, yes. I think he's running that offense really, really well. I think tonight was super impressive because they were missing a few guys, like a couple, like Corey Davis and is Humphreys out?
Yeah.
He looks pretty it feels like it's all kind of finally coming together. He's always been super talented and athletic, and he flashed a ton at Miami. I think now it's just he's in the right situation.
Who would you rather have as your quarterback, Tannehill or Kirk Cousins?
Ryan Tannehill.
You had Ryan Tannehill or Josh Allen. Josh Allen was getting a lot of hype, didn't win tonight. Which one of those two?
I would take Josh Allen.
Tannehill or Carson Wentz?
Ryan Tannehill.
Tannehill or McNabb.
Right now?
Yeah, right now.
Driving a car.
Yeah, I got to get Donovan McNabb out of bed.
Hey, McNabb, put down that 32-ounce Bud Light. You got a game.
You're playing football.
Speaking of football games, Johnny, Andrew, let's do our lock it in of the week. Every week we will be locking in a team as a division winner or wild card winner. It's a confidence poll. So last week we all locked in the Kansas City Chiefs as our first lock as a division winner. So Brian, this is a new game that we've thought up where we just lock in a division winner, and then this week we have to lock in another team to make the playoffs as a division winner or a wild card. Johnny, who would you like to lock in?
Part of me wants to lock in another team as a wild card from the AFC West, but it's too tricky. All the other divisions, it just seems too tricky. The Bears' record is better than it should be, so I'm thinking Packers. But based on this week's events and my wantedness to optimize and capitalize on an early pick that will end up being gold later, I'm going to lock in thoughts and prayers to the Prescott family. I'm going to lock in the Eagles as the NFC East division winners.
Wow.
You underestimate Andy Dalton, my friend, at your own peril.
I mean, if Dak Prescott can't win with that defense, Andy Dalton does not have a good shot. And so this is obviously, I'm not saying that the Eagles are going to win by 4 games. I'm not saying that the Cowboys are going to be just so much worse with Andy Dalton, but I'm looking for a spot where I think I can capitalize on you two not picking this that early. So this is really like a point strategy kind of move that I'm making. And also it's a homer pick, which I love.
Here's a question for you. Is 6 wins enough to win the NFC East this year?
This year, yes. Absolutely.
With a tie, it might, right?
Yeah. This division is historically bad and could be won by a 6-9-1 team. Yeah, I could see that. And that would be
I would like to place a bet that the Eagles will tie another game this season.
How much would you like to bet that?
Well, I need to
This
get
is like an
odds,
Allie Phillips
right?
tie bet. Right?
I could get like 4-1 odds or something like that.
4-1 odds? I'd take that. Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
You were selling yourself short. I'll bet $1,000 4-1 odds. When was the last time a team tied 2 games in a season, Kenneth? You know that.
Probably like 1938.
I don't know. I think that yeah, it might be. Well, I don't know. Yeah, Ryan might be right. It might be that long ago.
1911, when Bismarck Calliope was the quarterback of the
because there was a long
Sheboygan
time
Canoes.
The team that the league is now encouraging ties, so ties will be. Actually, that's the one thing that I really like about the PAT change that I don't think it maybe is even talked about that much, but I think moving the kickback has been one of the best rule changes ever in the NFL. It's just a little thing, but it makes scores more exciting. It makes going for 2 more common. It makes misses more common. The automatic point after is ridiculous to me. But Johnny, you're shaking your head.
Oh no, I heard touchback, not kickback.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I hate all the touchbacks.
Yeah. So I think that PAT changed a lot, even more than I thought it would, and I think that's been a good change. But certainly with 10-minute overtimes, it's more encouraging when overtime. Andrew, you know what? I'll go next, and I'll just say that I'm going to lock in the Packers. I think that Johnny, you said it for yourself that the Bears are not as good as their record, and the Lions and Vikings are too far out of it. So I think the Packers are going to win the NFC North. And I'm not making my choice as to the number 1 seed, but I think that race might even be down. Well, we'll see how that goes. But Andrew, who would you like to lock in?
Yeah. So as I was watching the Giants game this weekend, I was thinking to myself, like, first of all, that was a horrific thing to witness. But like, I just think the Cowboys rallied around Dak beautifully, but I don't know, they can't win with Dalton, and the Eagles are pretty rough. So I think the Giants looked pretty good in that game. And I'm going to lock in the
We're going to lock them
in the Giants.
Lock
I think they're a dangerous 0-5 team.
You guys get to do this over the course of – you get to pick one playoff
14
week. So you got 14 weeks.
Yeah.
To make this decision. So you don't really have to dive into the NFC. But there out a little bit over time.
But there are switches. There can be switches later on with a point like deficit.
What are you saying?
Didn't we discuss that we can switch it, but you take like a -1?
I don't remember. I mean, we might have said that. You're probably right, but I would like to just. To me, the best thing is we just.
You're playing it safe. You're playing it safe.
We don't
Kenneth,
talk
and,
about it again.
We're trying to optimize points. That's fine. I'm trying to play the game.
These switches, but so that's fine with me because I feel much more comfortable that I won't have to switch away from the Packers as opposed to the Giants. Ryan, it seems you get the gist of the game. Is there, last week we all locked in the Chiefs. So knowing that you might want to, you might be one who locked in the Chiefs in week 1. Who would you lock in at this point?
Packers have already been talked about too much, so I will not talk about the Packers. But that would be my pick. That feels like kind of the safest one right now. I will go. I feel pretty confident that the Seattle Seahawks will win the NFC West.
Yeah, so it's the 49ers have fallen to 2-3. The Cardinals, they don't seem like as good as the other two teams by close right now. But the Rams, maybe they're just not. Yeah, they're not as explosive. Although the Rams have had a pretty good defense so far, but we'll see what happens when they face a few better quarterbacks than the ones that they have.
I think the Rams are their biggest competition, but no, I think Seahawks feel pretty like they could almost go into cruise control.
Yeah. What are your guys' thoughts on the AFC North at this point? The Steelers are 4-0, the Browns and the Ravens are 4-1. Ryan, please, I will defer to the guest here. Which of those three, there's always going to be maybe skepticism around the Browns until they can actually prove themselves against these two teams. But do you think that, in week 1, after the Browns lost, a lot of people were dancing on the Cleveland's grave again, it felt like, and saying that the Baker Mayfield pick again was a huge mistake and this and that and whatnot. A different tune at this point. Kareem Hunt from watching him in Kansas City. What are your thoughts on Cleveland?
I mean, I'm not going to put too much stock into them beating the Colts, because I think the Colts are a very good team with a terrible quarterback right now, and that they will flounder because of it. But this is the most exciting division in football right now. I think they all balance each other out so well. It's going to be such a fun thing to watch. I mean, I think that Steelers defense might put them just over the top. Like the Ravens should have like the most balance, but I think that Steelers defense is going to give them a lot of trouble in their 2 games. So I think I'm going to lean towards the Steelers.
See,
I thought it was interesting. Go ahead.
No, I'm just thinking I'm leaning more towards Ravens or Browns just because that division seems like it wants to run later on in the season. What's Nick Chubb's injury? He's coming back this season, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so once they get Chubb and Hunt going, and then you have Lamar Jackson and Ingram like that, those two feel like NFC North teams where like James Conner doesn't feel like an
Steelers running
AFC
game.
North running back to me.
The Steelers running game is not good, but I think they'll be able to stop the run really well. And I think they will feast on Lamar Jackson and Baker Mayfield mistakes.
Fair enough. Agree to disagree.
Yep.
See how civil this is? Why can't our country do this?
No.
Ben Roethlisberger, 10 touchdowns, 1 interception. Obviously, I think he's done a good job of mastering this easier NFL that there is out there, and he's been a good fit. Not a Phillip Rivers-y type, that you might get in the 2004 draft. Andrew, you watching these? You seem like, to me, Andrew, you seem like a guy who would be all about Cleveland's offensive line dominating in the run game.
Yes, I love watching that 1-2 punch they have in the run game and the O-line make big calls. But I think Lamar Jackson still deserves the respect of someone who can take them and help them win the division after the last 2 regular seasons. And the only team that I feel like has him figured out are the Ravens or the Chiefs, Kansas City. So I just don't see them having any trouble winning the division.
See, that's a big fuck you to Mahari.
Ryan, you know the Chiefs. Why do you think they do so well against Baltimore? And why did the Chiefs do so poorly against Raiders? We just got you in.
Yeah.
We got you in the crosshairs.
Please.
New
I'll
segment, the Crosshairs.
As far as the Ravens go, I honestly cannot tell you. Every time we've played the Ravens, the last 3 times we played the Ravens since Lamar Jackson, I'm like, I don't think we're going to win this game. And the first time they played them, it was a little bit of a nail biter. They came back and won. The second time they played them, beat them pretty handedly. The score was a lot closer than it actually was. Last year they beat them like 33-28, but the Chiefs were in control of the game the entire time. And then they really beat them on Monday night a few weeks ago. And I cannot explain it. All the things that the Chiefs struggle with on defense are the Ravens' strengths, and for whatever reason, they're able to kind of keep Lamar from going nuts on him. It's pretty flummoxing, and it's especially flummoxing then when they lose to the Raiders this past week, which was so frustrating to watch. It felt they felt pretty lifeless. Not a lot of energy, especially on defense. It just felt like it was just one of those games.
Now,
Is it time to pack it in?
The Raiders, not quite yet. I'm hoping this will light a fire on them. It definitely felt like for the Raiders, this was their Super Bowl. This was they came ready to play, and I fucking like I'm. One thing that was fun about this loss is it sort of re-sparked my hatred for the Raiders, and just like they're such fucking losers. So they asked the team bus driver when they left the stadium to drive around the stadium a couple of times to do a victory lap, which is so fucking lame for a regular season game. It's so fun.
I disagree. I think it's so
cool.
like so on brand for like a Las Vegas football team. Like, hey, let's all get in this expensive bus and drive around for a while. That seems like a very bachelor party kind of thing. But I think it's just a Vegas branding thing.
But like I hate Derek Carr so much. I think he's such a fucking loser. Loser.
Good echo.
Cool.
I'm hearing echo. Oh, there it is.
But like this being the hope, I'm hoping the pinnacle of his career is satisfying in a weird way. Like he gets this
a week 5 win.
Yeah, against a Chiefs team that really didn't put forth its best effort.
Ryan, you do like exciting young NFL players. Any thoughts on Henry Ruggs, though? Because that'll be a player that is – and Justin Herbert, as that'll be another player that maybe changes things a little bit.
Ruggs had it was like 3 catches for 100-something yards and 2 touchdowns. It was I'm not sold on Ruggs just yet. He's super fast. I don't know if he's got they try to give the Tyreek Hill comparisons, but I don't know if he has that twitchiness and just all around game that Hill has. Herbert looks really good though.
Yeah, he does.
But he's with a very bad franchise.
That's true. In terms of success and 1-4, I think there was no way for a Chargers if he was going to be a Chargers franchise quarterback, then do as the Romans do and start 1-4 or 0-4 because that's what the Chargers do every year. So he seems a perfect fit for the Chargers.
I mean, Romans lose 4 games. Did they? Would that have any relation to Roman military combat?
Yeah, I know a lot about Roman military combat, so it's right up those alleys.
Well, they have those candles, right? They use those.
The Roman candles.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Pew! That's how they sound. Hey, Mahari, for the listening audience, I've now I don't know about UAG or Canada, but I've watched at least 2 football games live with Mahari. Just for the listening audience, Mahari, could you describe like the kind of football watcher you are? Like when you watch a Kansas City Chiefs game, like how do you emote? How do you
We've
feel?
never watched a Chiefs game with me, have you?
We watched the playoff games against the Colts at Ye Rustic once.
No, we did not. There's no way I sat in a bar and watched a Chiefs playoff game.
Who
Too much
was it?
anxiety. There's no way.
Now I'm trying to think who that was.
I met up with you. If it was the game where Andrew Luck came, they blew the 38-10 lead. I got hammered with you later that night.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, just belligerent drunk. Just sad, sorrowful.
It was so fun.
I think this is the second time you guys have had this conversation. On the
Maybe.
podcast.
It was one of the lowest moments of my life.
You got to bring it up.
I'm always happy to bring it up here on Goofballs.
There's another division race with a three-way tie. We've got Tom Brady and Drew Brees and Teddy Bridgewater, the three all-time leading passers, and they are all 3-2 in the NFC South. And the Atlanta Falcons are right there at 0-5, so don't count them out.
That's my biggest whiff on my preseason predictions, because I did pick the Falcons to get to a wild card spot, and
That's very bad.
it was very
well.
bad.
There are 16 teams going to the playoffs in every conference now, I think. So
That's true.
they might pull off one of those ones. Yeah, that's Andrew. You've been a long time Tom Brady fan. Your favorite player to think about is Tom Brady, and as well as a Teddy Bridgewater supporter and a Drew Brees boy, a Breezer. So, what are your thoughts here?
Well, I do. As you made that joke about Tom Brady, I like him a lot more in a Tampa Bay uniform than I do. Like, but I root for Cam to succeed. For some reason, it was just the combo. I think Ronnie mentioned that last week, and it really
He did.
resonated with me. But anyway, I think the Panthers are going to win that division.
Whoa.
Yeah, I think the Saints have real problems with this quarterback situation. Even though they won that game, it was super weird on like big downs, Breeze just coming out and Hill coming in, and like the lack of trust in Breeze in those moments. And I think that's gonna the lack of continuity there at the quarterback position is gonna cause problems. And I just think Brady is. I think Brady's he's pulled off a few good games and he's playing all right, but I think he's got the age and he's learning that system this year. So
I was just thinking about or going back to it was only a couple years ago that the Colts had to throw a Hail Mary and they brought in Jacoby Brissett, to replace Andrew Luck because he couldn't throw 50 yards anymore. And it kind of feels that same way of Drew Brees can't really throw more than 20 yards down.
Why not bring in Bridgewater? I mean, not Bridgewater. Winston.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's not good.
I mean, Taysom Hill's right there.
Than Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill is explosive.
There's something seriously wrong with Winston.
Dynamite in a bottle in a barrel at Taysom Hill.
I mean, I thought before the season that the starting quarterback by season's end for the Saints will be Jameis Winston, one way or another.
Yeah.
And I still think that. But this Taysom Hill thing, when are you going to give that a rest? Do you think
when it stops working?
I think there are
when his jersey stopped flying off the shelves.
When Taysom Hill has thrown pass attempts, I mean, I think like Golden Tate was a better passer. Like I think that, or is a better passer. Like I think there's wide receivers who
Mohamed Sanu.
Yeah, they throw better passes than Taysom Hill.
Rutgers.
You guys are racist against white quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So?
Can I just say one thing about the Panthers and Teddy Bridgewater? Can we just
Sure.
10, 15 seconds. What a shit name Bridgewater is. Am I right? It's too literal. It's water. The bridge goes over water. That's
No, I think
dumb.
it's-
I don't like it. And Teddy is
Okay,
a stupid, silly name. My 20-month-old son has a bear. His name's Teddy.
What's the best quarterback name of all time?
Taysom Hill. Otto Graham, I like.
Jake Plummer.
Joe Montana.
Yeah, Joe Montana.
Brock
Brock
Osweiler.
Brock.
You gotta have that.
Len-
It's gotta be a strong name, a masculine name.
Len Dawson.
AJ Feely.
Mike Vick was a that was just a classic.
Mike Vick is
Mike
good.
Vick.
Bubby Brister.
Marcus
Randall
T.
Cunningham is a
Russell?
strong name. I'll throw out an eagle. Randall Cunningham.
is a good name.
That's a strong name. That's like an estate. Like, oh, I live at Randall Cunningham Estates.
Yeah.
Are you guys? How do you guys feel about saying like Joe Burrow? Like, if that's going to be something that you say for 10, 20 years, is that a name?
Burrow, baby.
Burrow.
I think it's a good quarterback name.
I think it's a shame that it's in like the Midwest, like up there, because it's just gonna come out Canadian every time you say it. It's Joe Burrow. Oh yeah, Joe Burrow.
He's a Joe Burrow.
Oh yeah, get some chili and watch Joe Burrow.
Burrow looks
Is,
really good. Herbert looks good. What does that mean for Tua? Can they all three be good? Like
I think. Well, yeah. Go ahead.
I mean, the odds are like someone's got to be not good, right? Someone's got to be.
I don't. I mean, I'm definitely more sold on Herbert than I am on Burrow. I mean, and that's nothing against Burrow. Hey, hold on. Back off.
Foul ball, bro.
Can I? Well, first of all, there's nothing. There's a lot of quarterbacks who've been better than the number one pick. But like Herbert is a guy that I have preferred only just in the amount of time I've spent just sort of researching him, and I did a little bit of writing about him, and I thought that this guy's very good, and I wouldn't be surprised if he had success, and I think he's had the most success through 4 games of most any quarterback. It doesn't mean that he will continue to. Marcus Mariota had a very good start. Like a lot of quarterbacks have good starts, and that's why also I'm just not sold on Joe Burrow at this point, even though like, yeah, if I was a Cincinnati Bengals fan, I would be like, this makes me feel so much better than anything I've felt in a very long time.
I would be so nervous because some of the plays Burrow's made, I'm like, oh, I think he's going to be really good if they can protect him, because that offensive line is so bad that they could easily destroy him.
I just want to point out that you guys started like, don't downplay Andy Dalton. Like Andy Dalton is great, and you just said a rookie quarterback who started 1-3-1 is the biggest ray of sunshine that Andy Dalton's former franchise has had in the longest time.
I think you're really overselling how high we were on Andy Dalton.
I don't think I said anything about Andy Dalton.
Oh, you did.
I think I jokingly said you
I didn't say
underestimate Dalton at your own peril. I feel like you're projecting onto me.
Maybe it's my own insecurity coming out.
Here's also another thing that I was wondering. What about is there any possible way that the Falcons could trade and get some value for Matt Ryan? This is a player on a team that is not going to do anything this season. Maybe they could get a little bit of something. Is there a team out there maybe that doesn't have a quarterback or could use a quarterback like the Indianapolis Colts, which would be crazy because they already have 2 $20 million quarterbacks?
I was actually thinking earlier maybe Denver. They seem to be a bit of a quarterback whisperer kind of franchise.
The San Francisco 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Shanahan.
Are you saying in season, like before?
Yeah, let's do it in the season. Let's make a bold move. Carson Palmer was traded once between the Bengals and the Raiders.
Is the Minshew era over?
No. Oh, well, I guess maybe.
I think Denver's a good call.
If the Bears really don't like either quarterback, do they? I mean, they have so much money caught up in it. But could they make a
Bears.
move for Matt Ryan?
The thing is also, is Matt Ryan desirable? He doesn't seem like he's played well in quite a
Handsome.
while.
He's a handsome man.
He's very handsome.
He's good looking.
Yeah, Matty Ice, more like Matty Nice looking.
Yeah, he does have a very. He sounds like he looks like a guy who smells like Barbasol. You know that stuff. What's no.
Barbasol. He smells like
The shaving cream?
Yeah.
That's a dude that looks like he smells like shaving cream. Honestly, I don't disagree at all. I completely agree. That is the perfect thing. Like he looks like he smells like he's always shaved, like just shaved.
I mean, Matt Ryan's been good the past the 2 years doing his MVP season. Like, he hasn't seemingly been the problem.
Do the Cowboys do it?
Oh, that'd be nuts.
I mean, this is the year to win the division.
I mean, Matt Ryan, I think, was a couple years ago was good. I don't think he was especially good last season. He's definitely not good this season. He had 4 touchdowns against the Cowboys, the worst pass defense in the NFL potentially. And in the last 3 games against the Bears, the Packers, and the Panthers, he is completing 59% of his passes with 1 touchdown and a couple interceptions, sacked 8 times, 6.5 yards per attempt. I just think it's possible. You know, quarterbacks used to deteriorate at 34, 35 before all these other guys come around. So it's possible, but also with Dan Quinn gone, maybe that'll help Matt Ryan improve a little bit. But there's not really a lot to gain there with the Falcons other than maybe going for that Trevor Lawrence or that quarterback situation.
Well, I guess he wasn't that good last year, huh? 14 picks.
Yeah, and these days, the passers and the quarterback stats are getting so out of control that 63% completions this season, 66 last. I mean, so many quarterbacks are up there around 70% now, and they're up around 8 yards per attempt. So Matt Ryan, even with Calvin Ridley and Julio Jones and Russell Gage, has been productive this season. I think and he had Austin Hooper last season. So I think that he's had weapons. He's had an offensive line. He's still got a name, but I could see the Falcons going in a new direction next season, which is odd because it was like 2008, that draft with Matt Ryan, Joe Flacco, how long those guys stood at those franchises. But time has changed.
It would be weird to see Trevor Lawrence in a Falcons jersey, I think. Just mentally, I'm trying to picture it. It seems weird.
I would have committed myself to him as a Jet or a Jaguar. That
he'd look good in green.
Yeah.
Andrew, what uniform would you like to see Trevor Lawrence in 5 seconds or less?
Giants. Giants.
Division-winning Giants.
You win the division and get the number 1 pick in the same year.
Could happen in this
NFC
East.
Anything's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible. Speaking of anything is possible, we'll be right back and do Johnny's game show for the next half of Goofballs.